All right, hey everyone, welcome to the figure cycle for painting this week. And what we'll do now is actually a lot of fun, is because we're going to explore render styles, right? And the reason I want to do this is because I want you guys to start discovering a process that you are maybe a little bit more familiar with or sits with you a little better than the other one. Which sometimes you can discover a style that actually fits you more than what you're currently applying. I see this all the time. And it's just like sometimes making that switch can help you enjoy your process more, which will result in, better artwork, which will result in a happier artist overall. So these things can really benefit you. So what we're going to do for part one of this cycle is you're going to pick 3 of the portraits that you designed from the drawing cycle last week. And with those 3 portraits, you are now going to render one of them. So you're going to pick out of those 3, you're just going to pick one. And you're going to render them in 3 different styles. The first style being using a soft brush. So only using the soft round brush. So you get really smooth transitions. So this should give you a little bit more of a realistic render. Now you can use the lasso tool to get some sharp edges in there, but you should only be using that soft brush when it comes to brushes. Then the next one is a square texture brush. So this is more of a, to get that painterly feeling that you see with a lot of artists. Maybe you're using it already as well. I like to use it from time to time as well. But you're only going to use that square texture brush. All right. And then the last one is using a full opaque brush of choice. So the only thing, it can be any shape, it can even have texture, but the prerequisite is that there cannot be any transparency or glazing. It needs to be fully opaque, right? So that's the 3 render styles that you'll try to use for this this portrait. It needs to be in black and white, right? I don't want you to get confused with color in this assignment. This is purely just to focus on your rendering process, right? So I want you to get out of your comfort zone, or maybe fall into a comfort zone that you might like, that you haven't discovered yet, and see how it changes when you use these different rendering techniques. All right. A tip I will give you is that you definitely use like a photo of the Asaro head. Keep it at hand so you have some type of reference to go off when it comes to the planes of the head and where you can put, darker ambient occlusions and, how the planes shift to give it some value shifts, right? And that's something that will definitely help you when you're doing this assignment. Then moving into part 2, what I now want you to do is, it's not necessarily like, sometimes you need to disregard thinking about palettes and color palettes. All you need to think about is your local value, right, of the skin, and then what environment is that local value sitting in, and what are the material characteristics of skin tone in. Right, and if you don't know what material characteristics are, then look at the classroom on material characteristics, because I explain all about it there. Like this. So now what I'm still using right now is all warm colors. Now the beautiful thing about darker skin is something that you can really play up, is use a lot more cooler colors in just the local color itself. So you can mix and match. And as long as you stay true to the values, you can get really nice variation. And the only thing you should be mindful of is where you have halftones, that you warm them up a little bit to give it that lively feeling of skin tone, so that you don't lose that. For instance, also around like nostrils, you can keep that red, like on the eye sockets and the eyelids, make that a little bit redder as well. Yeah, it's all about just knowing a little bit of the fundamentals of the planes of the head and then getting creative with them. Making sure your values are somewhat correct, you know. And then it's all about, you know, all I'm doing is I'm imagining this guy that I've created with his individual unique shapes in what kind of environment that he or she is sitting. And based on that, I'm choosing my colors. I'm not too worried about the color palette. I'm just worried about the local value, how interesting that is, what the material characteristics are. And based on those local values and the ambient light and the rim light, I'm choosing my colors and my values. Now, of course, there's always that added extra layer of experience and mileage that gives you this decision make or helps your decision making process, right? Or even like those shorthands, right? Shape for this, shape for that, shape for forehead, shape for the cheekbone or whatever it is. That's always something that you learn by doing mileage, emulating other artists, and coming up with your own special ways of creating a face. No, just this. This is the line. That's it. That's it, dude. That's all you need. And a Sorrow Head and an Art-Wod subscription. That's all you need in life. And then you're good. Alright, thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed this clip and you want to get access to part 2 and part 3 of these assignments, make sure you head over to artwod.com where we have a lot more of this content, along with classrooms to accompany each of these assignment cycles, tutorials, a complete beginner's course for you to enjoy and get you up and running with the program. We have an amazing community on Discord where I'm very active. We do online doodle sessions. We do live classrooms that are recorded. We have some great support teachers. So if you want to get access to all of that, make sure you visit artwod.com and I will see you there.